Hey everyone, we're drawing close to the end of the month and it's the end of the week, so I wanted to do a quick update on what I'm seeing on the charts and some developments that I feel like might be happening. I've been quite bearish in the past weeks actually, and maybe this is changing. I'm not so sure, but if some things play out on the charts, we might see a lot more bullishness in the short term. I did some changes in my positions. I entered one really small speculative position, so let's go over all of this. And we gotta start with the legacy markets. And as you can see, the S&P is peaking its head above this level around 4,200. And this is quite bullish, to be honest. It's breaking out of this range that it's been forming. Higher highs, higher lows. The earnings have been good, and stuff like Nvidia, for example, it's been just flying. It's insane, you know. Just look at this candle. This is a weekly candle, 24% on Nvidia. It's just insane. Facebook has been doing also quite well since the capitulation there was with a couple of bad earnings and all of this. So here's the Facebook chart. You can see from the bottom here, quite significant gains around 200%. And this has been reflected in the Nasdaq. As you can see, this has pretty much been going parabolic for a few weeks already. And the gains have been pretty good on the stock market. However, the crypto markets have been lagging. And as you can see here, we've been stuck in this range for now. On the weekly chart, we're holding the 200-day weekly moving average. And, you know, this is not a usual price action where we capitulate after, you know, we had this run up. So let me just go on the daily, you can see it better. We had this run up to this major level around 32, let's say K. We broke below it. We confirmed it with a lower high, and then price didn't do that much. You know, everyone is eyeing this level, including myself, around 24K and even lower, between 20 and 24K. Everyone's looking to buy in this area, but markets often don't do what people want them to do. So what I'm seeing here, the longer this plays out and the longer we're stuck in this higher range, the higher the probability, in my opinion, to have another push to the upside. Will that be, you know, a break above 30K? And if we're going to have a full bull run, I'm not sure. But right now, I'm seeing some bottoming price action. And actually, we're going to look into specific signs that I'll be looking for to turn even more bullish. And this is the range that I'm currently looking at. Everything else got pretty much invalidated because in the beginning, I was looking at this level. I took some profit on my Bitcoin position somewhere around this, around 28, 29K. Then the next level down, major level down, was somewhere around here, around 27K. But you see, we were flip-flopping around this for a few weeks already. And currently, we're seeing the formation of this range right here in the short term in the past few weeks. Again, on the daily, it's quite choppy, but something like this. So we had a couple of breakdowns, but then price reclaimed it quite quickly. And this is the 100-day moving average. And in the past, this has been support and resistance in both directions. As you can see right here, we bounced off the 100 and 200 daily moving averages. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are preparing for another leg to the upside. And what I'm looking for is break above this level. So pretty much this 27.4K, something like this. You know, if we go down to the 4-hour chart, depending how you look at it, but it's somewhere around this area. You know, we don't want to put exact numbers, but if we start breaking above this, so if we see something like this, so a break above this, and then a confirmation, you know, after a retrace, then I think this will be a good bullish sign, maybe even potentially a good setup to enter here on a Bitcoin position. Because if you go back to the data, you'll see that we're currently in a 4 months of green, 4 days of green. So if this continues, there will be a retracement, but I would much rather prefer if it happens above this range and confirm this as support for the bullish case to play out, or maybe something like this with a higher low, here, and then a continuation for another leg up. It makes sense for me for this scenario. I'm not saying it's very high probability, honestly. Maybe it's like 50-50 compared to the bear case, but with the strength we've seen in the legacy markets, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like this and Bitcoin actually catches some steam. And the bearish case, actually, you can also make it here because we are close to resistance, and if we fail to break it, or if we just break it and then fail to close above it and then just break down and confirm, this would be for me the bearish scenario. You might argue that it's already playing out on the lower time frame, so we are forming a lower high here, and if we see some signs of weakness somewhere around this level, around 27k, maybe this will signal that, you know, this is just a lower high here and we're just going to continue downwards. But I'm honestly not so sure. So maybe the confirmation that you could look for this case will be this horizontal trend line to be broken and, you know, have closes below 27k again. This could lead to more chop, and actually I think that's good. If we see more chop here in this area, long term this will be good, and it's probably, you know, it will make the plans for everyone expecting for the washout here to the lower levels, including myself, much harder. It's much easier to buy when we see massive red candles, but when we see such kind of chop, for me personally, it's definitely harder to make the case for the bull. But let's see what's gonna play out. It's quite interesting, to be honest, to monitor this. It's been kind of boring, but also it's a very key level. So I'm definitely not losing focus right now. And what I've done also with my portfolio, maybe before that we just look at Ethereum, because this has been really much harder to chart and to read the charts, honestly. So we have clear signal of lower highs here and here, so we confirm this as resistance, and now it's been pretty much a chop fest, so it's much harder here to draw a clearer range, and you can see the wicks both on the upside and on the downside, so very choppy. But the good part here is that Ethereum is also holding up above the 100 daily moving average, and even if we go to the weekly, you'll see that we're in a much better situation compared to even Bitcoin with the 200 weekly moving average. This has been also a significant level for Bitcoin, and you can see here just another reason to be a little bit more bullish, that we haven't had a close below the 200 weekly moving average, and it's just another, you know, good sign in my opinion for price. As you can see, Ethereum much harder to read, much choppier, but I would say the 2k level is the key one to watch. This is where we had the clear resistance here and the breakdown after that, so that's the one I would be watching. Honestly, if I have no idea what's going to happen, and if I don't want to guess and trade the markets right now, I'll be just DCAing, especially in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Long term, this is, you know, probably one of the best strategies, especially for people with not great experience. And honestly, with all the developments I'm seeing, especially on the ordinal side of Bitcoin, I will be talking a lot more about ordinals, because I do think they're a new thing. It might be just a fluke, it might be just a scam, but honestly, with the community I'm seeing behind it and the developments, I think this could be something big. And you'll hear me talk about this a lot more, and also we're going to be looking at some charts on the ordinal side, and this is, in my opinion, very bullish for Bitcoin. Not that I'm not that bullish on Bitcoin in general, but this makes me even more bullish, because imagine if we get the ecosystem of Ethereum on Bitcoin. You know, just go through the motions and look into it, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so I cleaned up some of the positions. I still hold my Matic. You can see here we had a really clean pop stop, so a lot of short sellers got cleared here. And that's actually one of the cases also for the majors, that this might happen also to Bitcoin if we start closing above 27k. I'm holding for now. We're in midair, close to major resistance around $1. So I'm just going to be patient with this. I'm ready to accumulate lower around 75 cents. But for now, I'm just keeping put and not doing anything. I still also have my Magic also at a key level, at a key resistance. If it breaks this, maybe I want to hedge a little bit of the position that I have. Honestly, this is a really small position. I like this project long term. I could add if we go lower. I'm just going to be monitoring this and yeah, see what's happened. STG is another long-term position. This one looks much better. It's holding support. It's moving above the average now, the 200 daily moving average. And maybe potentially we even get a break somewhere around here to a higher target. So I'm still holding this, and I'm okay with holding through the chop. GMX, you probably know the story already with GMX. It's been hard trading this. Yeah, I definitely still keep the majority of my position. I closed this once we broke down. Now it's retracing, but plenty of resistance above. Let's see what's going to happen here. And then I cut out my SOL position here around 20 bucks, say it. And now you can see also a short squeeze on SOL, and we're back above this major resistance around 20 bucks. So again, another sign of potential strength in the near term future. And what else? So I wanted to show you one of the trades that I took. It's ORDI. This is one of the BRC tokens on Bitcoin. Right now they're all speculation. There's no utility or whatever behind these. This is actually the first one in the ecosystem that was ever created, so it kind of carries some sentimental value. It got listed on some quite big exchanges, I would say. Gate.io, BitGet, Crypto.com listed it. So there is volume on this one, and I decided to take a position here. If you go to the 4-hour chart, you can actually to the hour chart, you can see it much clearer. Very small position, very speculative at this moment, although I believe long term this will have some legs. I entered somewhere around here on the confirmation that we're holding above this line, and yeah, right now I'm in profit, but honestly I'm ready to cut it at any point. I'm not gonna back hold this for now. Here around 20 to 10% depending on your risk tolerance, you can cut it if you enter this. And yeah, I'll probably be interested if we go lower, and I'll probably accumulate it if we see a pattern, just because I do believe there's something here and it shouldn't be completely disregarded. But as you can see here also, the volume has been going down significantly, so just be aware of all that's happening. And I think that's everything. There's been some strength in some outs, but nothing crazy, nothing really worth mentioning about. I posted a video about render, so if you haven't seen it, go take a look. This chart's been looking phenomenally, to be honest, even with all the weeks. It's been holding up strong, so keep an eye on this also. And yeah, if you have any questions, you know how to find me.